We recognize that CVUUS gathers on lands seized from the Western Abenaki people by European colonizers. We respect the Abenaki's spiritual relationship to the land and waters of the Champlain Valley, and we are committed to building a peaceful and more just relationship with them and to promoting knowledge about their history and culture. Beginning on January 11th next week is the time of the greeting moon for the Abenaki people. During this time, they traditionally greet everyone by saying, "An haladan me kasipalawalan," meaning, "Forgive me for any wrong I have done you." The greeting is said not just to people you know you've wronged, but to everyone. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome those of you who braved what my friend Seth Gibson calls a practice for winter and made it into the sanctuary, and good morning to those of you, and welcome to those of you on Zoom with us today, to the Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. You are welcome here no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background. You're welcome to join us in community as we learn to live and love together. I don't know if this is anybody's first time, but I don't think it is. But if it were your first time, or if it is anybody's first time, please sign the book in the foyer, and we will be more in touch with you. Anybody needs hearing devices, probably everybody knows you can get a good one back in the back, and it would be a great time, if you haven't already done so, to turn off those cell phones. A reminder that if anybody has a milestone or a passage, a joy or a concern that you would like to share with us this morning, please write that on one of the yellow cards that you can also get in the foyer, and put it in the basket when the donation comes around. My name is Rebecca Strum. I'm a member of this congregation and a member of the worship team. So, Reverend Tricia was scheduled to lead us in today's service, but on Wednesday, she and her husband both tested positive for COVID. They are taking Paxlovid and seem to be on the mend. But one of the things I absolutely love about CVUUS, this CVUUS community, is that we work together, support each other, so that this morning I am privileged to serve as worship associate for fellow congregant and worship team colleague, Tom Morgan. Tom is the father of Wesley and Amaya and partner of Irina. In addition to worship, Tom serves on the membership committee. He is a UU candidate for ordination being sponsored by CVUUS, who says he is happy to have migrated out of that Hall of Mirrors for Narcissists, the DC area. Thanks for that laugh, Tom. And his family's values here in Vermont. They moved here in 2021. A huge thank you for Tom to stepping up, to our music leader, Kate Gridley, our tech team, Mary Hadley, Richard Hopkins, and Abby Sessions, and Rich Wolfson, our Zoom social host, Steve Butterfield, Flower Buds for Seasonal Connections, board members, I think Carrie and Hannah, and for greeting and facilities for help with our social hour, and anybody else who stepped up. We were in communication over the last few days, and we are all excited to be here. And now for our gathering song, which is There's a River, number 107 in the teal.
Today's call to worship is entitled A Prayer of New Beginnings by Lori Stewart. In the spirit of community and a sense of purpose in our ministry, let us commence the discovery of our strengths, our concerns, our grief, and our joy. Let this journey be one of love, authenticity, and reverence. Let us shape our lives, our work, and our days as an expression of that joy, that love, and of our commitment to service and to one another.
So, Katie, where are you? Katie is going to light our chalice. If you would join me in reading the chalice lighting. I'll wait till Katie gets ready. All righty. Go ahead. These matches. Good girl. Excellent. We light this chalice to affirm that new light is ever waiting to break through to enlighten our ways. That new truth is ever waiting to break through to illumine our minds. And that new love is ever waiting to break through to warm our hearts. May we be open to this light and to the rich possibilities that it brings us. And now, Poppy, and just Poppy.
Hello, good morning. I'm wearing a mask because I was spending Tuesday morning with Reverend Tricia. Yeah, so far so good. Just a reminder about that policy though, since a few people have asked, our COVID policy right now is that masking is optional unless you are a close contact of somebody who has tested positive for COVID, in which case you're still invited to come, but we ask you to follow CDC guidelines, which say mask for 10 days, with the exposure day being day 0. So 10 more days of masking in public or around high risk for COVID people. And on day 3 or 4, you should test, then 2 more days later, then 2 more days later if you keep being negative. If you have symptoms, even if you're testing negative, we would say, please don't come, which we say anyway. Questions about that? Okay. I don't usually take questions, but this is an important thing, right? We want to lift it up. I think it's very easy to forget that COVID is really very much still around us. And even though vaccinations have moved us forward, which is lovely, we still have people who are at high risk for it. And anyone can get long COVID, unfortunately. So I want to lift that up too, because I have some very good friends with long COVID, and it's not fun. So that's my little COVID spiel. I'm wearing these because they look awesome, but also because there are a couple of the things that people donated to our Charter House emergency shelter bin. For about 10 years, the kids in the religious exploration program have made ornaments every holiday season in November or December and sold them as a fundraiser. Bobby Loney had the great idea of doing that many, many years ago. And this year, we let them choose who would get the money. And some of the kids said they really wanted to do an emergency shelter and help with people who are houseless right now. So we picked the Charter House Emergency Shelter here in Middlebury. And they sold ornaments, they raised money. Oh, there's no change. I was like, there's nothing to hear really. No, you can't hear it at all. Anyway, ooh, look at that. So they raised money, hundreds of dollars, which they're going to count today, and we'll get back to you with the dollar amount. And we had a bin out there and collected items, which we will do all winter. So you can keep sticking stuff in there, and the list of what we'll take is right on the bin. Yeah, I guess I'll just say that. And just a reminder that please don't donate anything you wouldn't be willing to use or wear yourself. So clean, gently used. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yes. So now I would invite any kids who are gonna, you don't even need to be going to RE actually after this, but if there's any kids willing to help, in just a moment, Kate is going to start Peace, Salam, Shalom, which is what we sing the kids out to. But instead of us just leaving immediately, we're going to go over to the corner where Bobby Loney is standing, and we're going to pick up what's been donated so far. And it's even more than this. I mean, all the bags there are stuffed with stuff. But we're going to pick it up, and we're just going to do a little show and tell where we kind of come around, go down that aisle right there, go there, and then leave, and then we're bringing it all over to the Fen House. So if kids are willing to help do that, that would be great. And if we don't have enough hands to carry it all, that's fine. We'll deal with it later. So let's start with Peace, Salam, Shalom. We invite you to rise in body or spirit. And kids, please head over if you're willing to carry some stuff. Peace, Salam, Shalom. Peace, Salam, Shalom. Peace.
So today's offering is going to be taken now. This week's donee for the offering is the UUA's. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Jean. Yeah. Jean's going to do the announcement for the donee this time. She was waving her hand frantically.
Okay, great.
Good morning, everyone. So, as some of you may know, we have a tradition of, in the month of January or February, donating to UUA organizations. And so this week, we will be supporting the Church of the Larger Fellowship. And if you don't know much about the Church of the Larger Fellowship, it is a long-standing organization which is available to anyone around the world who isn't near a UUA congregation. So they have many online members and also include 900 members who are currently incarcerated. And some people know this organization through the letter writing efforts, and Bobby Loney has taken part in this and has this little bit to share. My involvement with the CLF was in the Worthy Now prison ministry as a pen pal with a person incarcerated. We wrote back and forth over 2.5 years, during which we shared about interests and struggles, personal history, and responses to UU readings. Our letters went through the UUA for confidentiality of addresses. I think we were both grateful for our correspondence. So this is something that any of us could participate in, and there's many ways for us to participate in connecting with UUs around the world and around the country. So thank you for your support.
Has been a week of living, a week of happinesses and sadnesses, joys and concerns, milestones and passages. I have 2 yellow cards to read today, both pretty exciting. Marnie Wood writes, "My niece Aslan, on January 2nd, made the summit of Mount Aconcagua, the highest mountain in the Western Hemisphere, 22,831 feet in Chile, South America. Aslan was a young member of this congregation, part of RE, when we held worship in the community house in East Middlebury long ago. Some of you re-met her this past April at Easter when she came for a visit. She lives in Colorado and hikes many peaks there. Wow, I am impressed. Congratulations. And another joy and milestone. Esther Charlton writes, Friday, January 5th, was the launch of my campaign, Esther for Vermont. I am running for governor in 2024. Whoa. Wow. Very exciting. And now Tom will lead us in a time of reflection.
Very exciting indeed. We bring our whole selves to this time of reflection. Our losses, our joys, our memories, and our anticipations. That which we hold on to from the past and that which calls us to reach for new beginnings. Let us pause for a moment to be in contemplation with that which holds us now.
The reading today is For a New Beginning by John O'Donohue. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered. heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then, the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped on new ground. Your eyes young again, with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back and learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
Well, good morning again. So when Reverend Tricia reached out Thursday night with news that she and Peter had come down with COVID, and she invited me to step in as her substitute, I admit to having a few concerns. My first concern was for Reverend Tricia's and Reverend Peter's health. My second concern was time. I'm always honored to help lead worship in this wonderful congregation, but the time space I had to prepare was rather thin. My third concern was for the expectations of your spirits, because it's your spirits that arrived here or Zoomed here on this snowy New England morning, expecting to be nourished and renewed. So for the first concern, let's all please send Tricia and Peter our warmest for comfort and healing energy for a speedy recovery. As for time, I did manage to find some, and frankly, sometimes thin spaces can generate stimulating insight for the mind, revelation for the heart, and a shorter sermon for the clock. So here we are at the beginning of a new year, 2024. It sounds like a big number to me. The title of today's message is New Beginnings. And churches, sermons on the importance of making resolutions for the new year will be preached. Don't get me wrong, I am a planner. I am probably more comfortable preaching the benefits of a well-designed plan of action than the ethereal notion of hope. But doesn't it seem like so many of our New Year's resolutions are stuck on repeat? Let's consider what people are resolving to accomplish in 2024. According to a poll by Forbes magazine, about half of the American population makes New Year's resolutions every year, and people often set more than one resolution. What do you think was the top resolution for 2024? There's an insider over there. Next slide, please. Fitness. Getting in shape, improved fitness. About half of respondents said that they wanted to be more physically fit. And what other things do you think folks wanted to resolve to improve? What was the next one? Go ahead and go back to the other one, please. Yeah, thank you. Their finances was the second one. About 40% wanted to improve their finances. So there's nothing wrong with improving bodily and physical fitness, right? It is somewhat revealing that about 38% of folks wanted to improve their mental health in 2024. Another third wanted to improve their diets. I think I heard that one a little while ago. And about a quarter resolved to improve their relationships with others, which the less cynical side of me hopes is because the 75% of their relationships are already healthy. The only spiritually related resolution I could find in this poll was that approximately 5% of Americans would like to meditate more. That one polled just above consuming less alcohol and improving one's work performance. Can we go to the slide that shows the wheel, please, the UUA Article 2? Thank you. I'm not going to mock anyone who resolves to improve their health or household finances, and few priorities are higher than sustaining one's mental health. These are valid goals, and a lot of people begin each year, year after year, with these same resolutions, more or less. And year after year, resolutions lose their staying power. Forbes found that a typical year begins with almost 90% of the people who make resolutions claiming they are very likely or likely to accomplish these goals in the year. Yet data indicate otherwise. About half of those who establish resolutions drop them within 2 to 3 months. Over 80% of our resolutions are distant memories by June, and only about 6% of those who make resolutions claim to sustain them for a full 12 months. What if we all started the year off differently? Or at least integrated the deeper parts of ourselves in with our goals? In the poem Becky read to us, John Donahue tells us to unfurl ourselves into the grace of beginning, knowing that it is the soul that senses the world that awaits us. Donahue reminded me of Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote, "It all begins when the soul would have its way with you." It all begins when the soul would have its way with you. If your soul had its way with you, what would you resolve to do? What if your brightest light, your most transcendent essence had its way? As a community, what would we as UUs resolve to do this year? What would we manifest around us? What if we really leaned into the concept of living our faith? With the energy of new beginnings, where and how far do you feel we might go? Unitarian Universalism is a love-centered faith. We act on a fairly straightforward set of shared values and principles. We honor, protect, and heal the interdependent web of existence. We celebrate and learn from diverse cultures, theologies, and experiences, and our free, responsible search for meaning. We work to dismantle racism and oppression, creating and co-creating a socially just world that works for everyone. We are open to experiencing growth. We practice gratitude and share our presence and resources. And we respect the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person as we build inclusive communities. For 2024, could we begin by acknowledging that it is love, not our perceived shortfalls or attachments or insecurities or cynicism, that holds us together in covenant with one another? 2024 will certainly bring challenges, but if we live our faith and project our light beyond these walls, I predict that healthful relationships will grow, suffering will be less, and joy will be more. and the world we shape will be more fit for a beloved community. May it be so, and blessed be. Our closing hymn today is number 58, Ring Out the Wild Bells. Kate will play it through once to familiarize us with the tune.
It's not really the benediction yet, because in the spirit of new beginnings, the worship team has decided to try an experiment of doing our pathways to connection or our announcements at the end of the service, before the benediction. There are always many pathways, ways to connect with other UUs in addition to the Sunday services. You can read about them in our monthly newsletter, which we just received, or in our weekly email blast, or they are here in the printed order of service. They are also sometimes projected on screens. This morning, Priscilla Bremser has an announcement that she would like to share with you.
No, that's right. She thought I was tall, isn't that great? So during the weekend of January 19th, that's 2 weekends from now, CVUUS will go through a next steps process. So this is something that the board is planning for us. Mark Ewart, who is a stewardship consultant recommended by Reverend Tricia, will meet with staff members, the board, and ministers on Friday evening, so that's the 19th. On Saturday, he will facilitate a series of small group meetings with congregational leaders representing various groups here. At some point on Saturday afternoon, he will lead a workshop open to all to gather our understandings and ideas about stewardship and to help our congregation chart a way forward. The board is interested in helping us come to a more healthy relationship with how we steward our resources here, broadly conceived. Carrie and I had a Zoom meeting with him yesterday, and he talked about having a holistic approach. And he was wonderful, by the way. He's done this for like 70 congregations, and he kept saying, well, if this happens, then I'll do that. And if that happens, then I'll do that. And then this other thing happens, then blah, blah, blah. So he comes well prepared and well, and ready for us. He will come to church on Sunday morning, attend coffee hour, and then make a presentation for everyone with observations, recommendations, and time for questions. And then after that, I presume he will collapse into a heap somewhere. But at no point will he ask anyone for money. That's not the idea here. Oh, the other thing he said was, if it snows, we'll do it all on Zoom, so don't worry about it. He really has it all covered. So please be on the lookout for specific details in the email blast. Thanks.
Now it's time for the benediction. Now, beloveds, go in peace. Make new tracks for yourself and for others in the newness of the year with mystery and the power of love. Blessed be.